Now Tughlaq Dynasty. I've already made videos on Khilji Dynasty or Khalji Dynasty, where I have talked about, like, I will just give a end from where it all started. So it was like in 1320 Kutubuddin Mubarak Shah was died. So it was like after the death of his I will show you. After the death of this Alauddin Khilji, that is 1296 to 1316 AD. After that, it was like Malik Kafur placed Shihabuddin Umar. Shihabuddin Umar was the son of Alauddin Khilji to the throne, but he was removed by Mubarak Shah Khilji, and Mubarak Shah Khilji ruled from 1316 to 1320. Okay, so Mubarak Shah ruled from 1360 to 1320. So it was like earlier the son of Alauddin Khilji was placed, but eventually he was removed by that Mubarak Shah, and Mubarak Shah was an incapable and weak ruler and showed special favors on one of the slave boys named Khusro Khan and made him wazir. And in 1320 Khusro treacherously put his master to death, that is Mubarak Shah, and ascended the throne with the title of Nasiruddin Khusro Shah in 1320 AD. Okay, in 1320 AD that Nasiruddin Shah will lose the reign of terror, and this made Ghazi Malik Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, that Ghazi Malik Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, the governor of Punjab, to rise in revolt and invade Delhi. This resulted in the defeat of Khusro. Okay, so Khusro was dead. Then eventually that Ghazi Malik assumed the name as Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq at Delhi, and founded the Tughlaq Dynasty, a dynasty of rulers. So you will know about all that Khilji Dynasty to go through all the lectures I have made on it. So what is Tughlaq Dynasty? Okay, then we will start from introduction part, then we will go into administration and all. Okay, so Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq or Ghazi Malik was the founder of the Tughlaq Dynasty, and he rose from a humble origin. Okay, so what are the domestic and his foreign policies? Like Ghiyasuddin reinstated order in his empire, like all the orders had been restarted, and he gave more importance to postal arrangements, judicial, irrigation, agriculture, and police. He gave more importance to postal arrangements, judicial, irrigation, agriculture, and police. Okay, and in 1320 AD he ascended the throne. As I have said, like in 1320 AD he ascended the throne from Khusro, that Nasiruddin Khusro. Okay, and he brought Bengal, Utkal or Odisha. Odisha was known as Utkala. So he brought Bengal, Odisha, and Warangal. Warangal is around Andhra Pradesh area. So Warangal under his control. So he brought Bengal, Odisha, and Warangal under his control. Okay, and the Mongol leaders who invaded North India were seized and confined by him. So Mongol was the one who was the main issue for that Khilji dynasty and all. Okay, so the Mongol leaders who invaded North India were seized and confined by him. Okay, were seized and confined by him. And how's the end of that Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq rule? So in 1320, in 1320 he ascended the throne, and in 1325 AD, Ghiyasuddin was crushed to death while attending an event for his victories in Bengal. Okay, and Juna Khan, the crown prince, succeeded him. So who succeeded him? Juna Khan, the crown prince, succeeded, okay, him. So then Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that in 1325 Juna Khan, the crown prince, he took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he sworn the title of, that in 1325 AD only, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, you will may heard Tughlaq in Chak De India in one shot, so you can remember this thing. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq stood for the administrative and political unity of India. Like he stood for the political and he stood for administrative and political unity of India. Okay, and in 1327 AD he captured Warangal. Okay, so it was like Warangal was complete outside, was again he captured in 1327. So there is confusion, like how Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq control seized a part of Warangal, or then Muhammad bin Tughlaq completely took the part of Warangal. So domestic policies of Muhammad bin Tughlaq: to fill the empty treasury, he raised taxes on Dab region, like river areas, in the side of the river areas and all, irrigational area like fertile regions area, and many people ran away to the forest to avoid heavy taxes, due to which cultivation was neglected and severe food shortage occurred. And he shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri to protect his capital, and ordered the common people and government officials to shift to Devagiri. After many difficulties, he ordered them to return to Delhi again. Okay, so and he further introduced the copper currency system, and the value of coins dropped as he had to withdraw the copper token currency. And to conquer Khurasan, it was in Iraq, and Khurasan, Iraq, and Transoxiana, he raised an army of 3,70,000 men. So let me write, to fill the empty treasure, he raised taxes in the Dab region, and many people ran to the forest to avoid heavy taxes, due to which cultivation was neglected and severe food shortage occurred. And he shifted his capital to Delhi. He shifted his capital Delhi to Devgiri. He shifted to protect his capital, and ordered the common people and government officials to shift to Devagiri. After many difficulties, like no one was ready to go there, so after many difficulties, again they returned back to Delhi. Okay, and he introduced copper currency system, and the value of coins dropped as copper was easily available. So maybe many of the people start printing, start making the copper currency in their home. So it eventually leads to drop its value, and he had to withdraw the copper token currency. To conquer Khorasan, Iraq, Taxonia, he raised an army of 3,70,000 men. Like to conquer Khorasan, Iraq, and Transoxiana, he raised an army of 3,70,000 men. Okay, so Muhammad bin Tughlaq's nation's treasury had a great burden due to the policy of huge present given to Tamashirin, the Mongol leader, in order to avoid Mongolism. So to avoid Mongol invasion, he had given present to Tamashirin, which leads to heavy burden on the nation treasury. Okay, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq's domestic policies were good, but due to faulty implementations or measures, they failed. His policies were good, but due to faulty implementation measures, they failed. And the decline of the Delhi Sultanate is claimed due to his hasty decisions and defective policy implementation. Then after this Firoz Tughlaq came, that is, he was from 1351 to 1388 AD. Okay, in 1325 Muhammad bin Tughlaq came, that is Juna Khan. Then after in 1351 Firoz Tughlaq came. So he was the son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he younger brother, and he succeeded the throne. So who is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq? Who won? That is Ghazi Malik, who is the founder of Tughlaq Dynasty. So he was the son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, younger brother. Okay, and he succeeded the throne. Okay, so he also did some administrative reform. He withdrew all Tokyavi, that is agricultural loans granted by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and he raised the salary of revenue officers. So all the salaries of the revenue officers were increased, and he brought to an end to all unlawful and unjust taxes, like too much taxes on agriculture, or some all maybe religious taxes were some. So he removed all unlawful and unjust taxes, and he collected 4 important taxes, which are Kharaj, Khams, Jizya, that is poll tax on the religious tax, and the Zakat, tax on Muslims for specific religious purposes. So now he is taking tax on the both Hindus also and the Muslims, like Hindus, not non-Muslims, and Hindus also. So he collected 4 important taxes, which are Kharaj. Kharaj is 1/10 of the produce of the land. Okay, then khams, it is 1/5 of the war booty. Then jizya, you know, religious tax, non-Hindu non-Muslim religious tax, or jizya poll tax, that is non-religious tax, like those who are not in Muslim, those is not Muslim, so they have to pay that jizya. And then zakat was for tax on Muslims for a specific religious purposes. Okay, so, and he constructed 150 wells, 100 bridges, 50 dams, and also dug many irrigation canals. So 150 wells, 100 bridges, and 50 dams, and also dug many irrigational canals. So he was giving too much attention on the agriculture, because he knew whatever the money will come, it will come from agriculture only. So, and he constructed towns like Firozabad, Hisar, Jaunpur, and Fatehabad. And Firoz Tughlaq banned all kinds of damages and torture. Like, if like someone like we will torture this region to get some taxes, or to get this region, so he unwanted work, he completely removed it. And he levied jizya on the Brahmins, that jizya was imposed on Brahmins. And he established hospital that is known as Dar ul Shafa, and marriage bureau Diwani Khairat, and an employment bureau. So he established hospitals that is known as Dar ul Shafa and marriage bureau that is known as Diwani Khairat, and an employment bureau. Okay, and an employment bureau. And he also established Diwani Istiqaq to financial aid to the poor. Okay, so if any poor people need some financial aid, so he was also used to providing that. And his foreign policy was like Firoz Tughlaq surrounded Bengal in 1353 AD and 1359 AD. So he seized Jayanagar, and he devastated the Jagannath temple at Puri. So like earlier it was Bengal, Odisha, and all were merged together. So he devastated the Jagannath temple at Puri at that time. And importance of just the Tughlaq in medieval Indian history, like Firoz provided the prominence by his generous measures and contribution to the affluence of the people. Like he was giving attention to the people to his reason. Futuhat Firoz Shahi is an autobiography of Firoz Tughlaq. No need to remember it. And he patronized a scholar Ziauddin Barani. He was one scholar. And during his reign, a number of Sanskrit books on medicine, science, and arts were translated into Persian. So during his reign, a number of Sanskrit books on medicine, science, and arts were translated into Persian. And Kutab Firoz Shahi, a book which dealt with his physics. So Kutab Firoz Shahi, a book dealt with physics. Later Tughlaq successor of Firoz was Tughlaq was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq Shah II, Abu Bakr Shah, and Nasruddin Muhammad Tughlaq. So no need to so much remember, like Firoz Tughlaq was still the most important. Then Timur invasion has started, like how end of Tughlaq dynasty started. The successor of Firoz were not very strong or competent. It was same as that Khilji dynasty. After Khilji, after that is after Alauddin Khilji, all the successors were weak. So it was overtaken by Ghazi Malik, and same history repeated with his dynasty. So like after Firoz Tughlaq, no successors were too strong, and by the end of 14th century, most of the territories became independent, and only Punjab and Delhi remained under the control of Tughlaqs. And Timur's invasion took place during the Tughlaq period. Timur, that Kareena Kapoor's son name Timur, so it was taken from here. So Timur's invasion took place during the Tughlaq period. So Timur invasion was in 1398 AD, and the fabulous wealth of India attracted Timur, the ruler of Samarkand. So that the main thing, every time the main attraction of the attraction to the India is the wealth, the fertile land and all. So in the same way Timur was attracted, and during the period of Nasiruddin Muhammad Tughlaq, so he invaded India. Like he was the last Tughlaq ruler, Nasiruddin Muhammad Tughlaq, and in 1398 AD Timur captured Delhi. Like Delhi was still the capital of Tughlaq. So now in 1390 AD Timur captured Delhi and caused the annihilation of Tughlaq dynasty by pillaging and slaughtering the people. Okay, so this was the end of Tughlaq dynasty. So we have talked about, so I will just give one art and culture of this dynasty. Like Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he constructed the city of Tughlaqabad, the first fortified city built by sultans of Delhi and Sultanate. And Amir Khusro adorned his court also. Like Amir Khusro served under 5 different sultans, and the administration was such, like the lands were confiscated from the nobles were given back to them, and this led to the slipping of power into the hands of nobles. So the lands which were taken from the nobles were given back to the nobles, and he recovered a part of royal treasury which had been distributed by Khusro Khan to his nobles and notables in the society. Okay, and he further reduced the tax to the extent that only 1/11 of the agriculture produce was charged as a tax, and he constructed several canals and administration. We have talked about this, everything has been talked. And is there any part left? Let me check it. So yeah, so the transfer of capital, I have also talked about it, that from Delhi to Devagiri in Deccan, which was renamed as Daulatabad, and again they returned back to Delhi. Like many people died during the rigorous journey in the summer. So from Delhi to go to the Deccan region of Devagiri, it was very tough for them. Nowadays we have a car and all. At that time nothing was there. So many people started dying. So they again returned back to Delhi as its capital, and this project caused the people great hardship as the whole of royal household. Okay, as we have said that they increased the tax on the Dab region, and token currency of copper was also failed as the price was dropped of that copper currency. So maybe reason of like copying copper was easily available, maybe the reason of falling down of that coin. So the second unprecedented project launched by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the introduction of the token currency in 1330 AD, and this was a concept that was far ahead of its time. There was a shortage of silver throughout the world in the 14th century. So following the example of Kublai Khan of China, he introduced token currency, whereby he issued order that tankas of bronze be minted and used for at par with the silver tankas called dirhams. Okay, so and this token currency experiment costed him dearly, because people began to forge currencies, and the new coins were not accepted in the market. So the sultan stopped the circulation of token currency and exchanged the silver coins for the bronze coins. This imitated the stale currency. So see, whenever the price of any currency is dropping, even in the economics, it means that currency is available in the market at a huge quantity. So if rupees is available in the market at a huge quantity, so it will ultimately lead to drop the price. So what RBI will do, then RBI will start snatching the rupees from the market, so that rupees value will increase in the market. As in economics you will see, as demand will increase, the price will also increase. So inflation will start. So to reduce the demand, so inflation, so that inflation will come down. So this thing we will see in economics part. Okay, so same thing happened here, like copper currency. He introduced copper currency, and at that time in the 14th century silver was not available easily, so people started making copy of that copper currency. Like copper was easily available, it is not so much rare metal. So the number of copper currency in the market increased suddenly, and this led to the lost the value of copper currency. Okay, like suppose right now you are paying 10 rupees for one chocolate, and now as the everybody has 10 rupees, so what will happen, the price of the chocolate will increase. This chocolate rupees right now costing 10 rupees, then this chocolate will now it will cost you 100 rupees. Now for one chocolate you have to pay 100 rupees, so it will be a burden for market to run. Okay, so this was the issue, and yes, I have talked about everything. I don't think I have missed something. Okay, go through my channel and see all the lectures available. Thank you.